Hello and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 14th of March. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. As ever, I'm going to give you a broad overview of what to expect, but please stay with me because I then will dive deep into each of the 12 zodiac signs and give you in forensic detail an idea of what to expect. Now, the sign of Pisces is very much the end of the astral journey. And next week, the Sun is going to be moving through the vernal point and we start through the spring equinox, the new astral year. So collectively, I think for a lot of us, this week particularly, is a time to really get in touch with our deeper feelings. And that could see us feeling a little bit nostalgic. We may want to withdraw a little bit and find some peace and tranquility. Any place that's near to nature or water can be particularly healing. Now, of course, Mercury moved into the sign of Pisces last week too. Technically debilitated, but brilliant if you want to write a song, share your feelings through a poem, or just think of the creative strands that help you to express the corners of your feelings, which are much less based on the practical sphere. But we do have on Friday a full moon in the practical Virgo. So that full moon asks us to balance the energy of the new moon that occurred earlier this month, which of course embraced the buoyancy of Jupiter, to find a balance between those more ethereal energies of Pisces and the more practical reality of Virgo. So if you do find yourself feeling that you want to be in a much more spiritual or healing dimension, I think your timing is impeccable this week. But the Virgo energy is saying to try and integrate it into the more physical way that you're leading your life. So if escapism really appeals to you this week, that full moon is saying important to consider issues like nutrition, exercise, life organisation, and just making sure that we see tangible progress. So we can all float off a little bit with this Pisces energy, but that can make it all the more evocative. Now, on the back of that full moon, Pluto from the middle of this week is angling into the Sun, but it's in a very positive way, in a sextile. The Sun sextiling Pluto can see internal changes or physical changes in our reality. A sextile 60 degrees constructive. But also from the middle of the week, the glorious alliance between Venus and Mars, fantastic for socializing, that comes into an abrasive right angle with Uranus, the planet of truth, but also of freedom. And the freedom fighter is now in a sign, or has been for some while, that it's not so comfortable in, the sign of Uranus. Now, of course, world peace has been shattered recently. The last time Uranus was in Taurus began in 1937, I think. And of course, that followed with the Second World War. So a lot of turbulence in the world. And I think next week, after the vernal equinox, Mars does come into an exact square with Uranus, which can be testing, particularly in terms of very sudden, unexpected, and very sort of forceful events are possible. But in our own situation, the combination of Venus and Mars in Aquarius is very much about our higher values. And Uranus rules the sign of Aquarius, so there is a kind of, it's the modern ruler, so there's a kind of receptiveness. So when it comes to our financial affairs, which is the physical plane of Taurus, I think it's best not to be too idealistic. So for example, if a friend, very Aquarius, suggests getting involved in some kind of get-rich-quick scheme and you feel the impulse to join in, I'd just slow down, because Uranus squaring Venus and Mars can make us very sudden in our movements, much more impulsive. But equally, we may be drawn to someone in our group that we find very attractive, and this could happen in quite a sudden way, or we may, in a romantic relationship, want to engender greater excitement and spontaneity in it. So things have been getting a little bit too dull and predictable. A great time to try to inject a little bit of devilment into the situation by doing something together which just creates a little bit of excitement and can reignite the spark that you had when you first met. So that's the overall pattern for us all. If you are new to my channel, I would be delighted if you would subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. Also, if you'd like to get your free written daily horoscope fired to your device each morning, please see the link below. And you can get your 12-month forecast and character analysis based on your personal astrology, time, date and place of birth, and ascend above this Zodiac broadcast by seeing the link below and get 30% off with my special offer package. Hello Cancer, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for week commencing the 14th of March. Expansion is writ large across your situation. Your desire for change, experimentation, adventurism, new experiences, spontaneity is really enhanced by a whole raft of planets, a stellium in the sign of Pisces. Now Mercury, the planet of talk and thought, of course, moved into that area last week. And Mercury and Jupiter particularly can be very much to do with travel. So if there is an opportunity for you to have a change of scene, within whatever current COVID guidelines you're existing with in your locality, I think you could seize it. Sometimes that old saying of a change is as good as a rest can actually be so very true. But I think also you can be downloading a lot of information at the moment, becoming much more informed. Some Cancerians can even be thinking about applying for an online course, working on a remote basis to upgrade your skills, whether it's professionally or personally. And with Venus and Mars in a conjunction in your 8th house, there is the potential to gain in a financial context through business, through being entrepreneurial, or through connections to others. The 9th house can be about justice, natural justice, and it can be about higher philosophies. But the full moon, which is forged on Friday, is much more about your everyday discourse, your interactions with neighbours, just the way we think and chat, just, hi, how are you? The quick, sharp stuff, very Gemini. That's the influence of the full moon towards the end of this week. But if you're wanting to be much more go-getting in your approach to life, and shake things up a bit and be more daring, and there's someone closer to you who prefer the status quo to endure, that may be something that you and they really need to talk through, because Pluto's in the mix on this particular full moon, and that means relationship issues are very important to your philosophies. You're going to be drawn towards people who share your ideals and belief systems, but that could also see you moving away from those people who don't. And one of the further reasons for that is because Uranus, the planet of truth, the planet of desire for freedom, is actually in your sector of the long-term future. And for some Cancerians, the need to escape and have freedom could actually be stronger than the need to stay with what you know and what gives you a sense of security, even physical and financial security. Now, I'm not suggesting for a minute that you do anything that threatens those areas, but after a lot of soul searching, there may be some crabs that are thinking, look, this is the time to really explore broader horizons. And that can give you a real sense of excitement, of feeling really alive. And this really can be quite an extraordinary week for you.